listening to the Los Rotos podcast with Vanessa Scaduto.
Vanessa Scaduto.
Produced by Upside Down Creative Media.
Upside Down Creative Media.
Welcome back to Los Rotos, guys. What's up? I'm so excited today. I have one of my good friends, Sareth Ney, here with us. What's up, Sareth?
Hey, Vanessa. What's up, pal?
What's up, dude? I'm really excited to have you because I've known you now going close to 6 years, and I haven't been able to have you on. But just so our audience can know you a little bit better, how'd you get into stand-up comedy? You know, like how many years have you been doing it?
I got into comedy back in 2000. I think 12 years now, so that's like, forever ago.
Say what?
So I was pursuing horror, scary movies, stuff like that, and concert journalism. And I would go back to the studio where I was apprenticing at, and I would make my friend laugh. He's like, really well known in the industry, and he goes, "Why don't you try stand up before you leave LA?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll do stand up." And so I kept my promise. I went to a cafe called the Jump Cut Cafe in Studio City, California, and I signed up to do 5 minutes. And I got so nervous and scared that, my Wu Manchu character?
Yes.
I dressed up as Wu Manchu, and I went up on stage, and I did 5 minutes of jokes. And some of them are still in my sets, but they evolved.
Right.
Like they're supposed to.
Right, exactly, if you keep writing.
Yep. And so I finished my set and left, changed into a Rage Against the Machine shirt that I went, so I'm at the LA Coliseum. And I came back out to the venue, and he goes, "Hey, where'd that superhero go?" That host said. I need him to do 5 more minutes because he needed to fill more time because there was not a lot of performers. I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about, dude." And he goes, "So you're pulling an Andy Kaufman on me?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm his manager." So that's how I got into stand-up. And then I moved back home to Colorado and did their weekly open mics at the Downtown Bar in Pueblo, Colorado. And shout out to them. Found my voice. My friend Wade was hosting. And I didn't get onto a showcase until Sareth Fest happened. So. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's like so if, for people who don't know, you have your own festival that you've been. How long has it been going on now?
12, coming up on 12 years in Colorado and 5 years in Daytona.
Wow. Okay. So that's a long time having it. So up until then, you're like, listen, if you're not gonna book me, I'm booking myself, and I'm getting my friends on this, and we're just gonna showcase everybody. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, and it obviously worked out. You're still doing it. Right.
It's the final year, yep.
What was it to take on Daytona too, though? Because you just started that one 5 years ago. You're just like, oh, forget it. These Florida people need another, like a little festival here or something.
Pretty much. And I didn't, everyone couldn't afford to take off time work, and it was too expensive to fly everyone out.
Right.
It's like, let's start another one at my home. I'm at the Nog.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Nog's great. Yeah. Yeah, go to Daytona, the Nog Wednesday nights. Tim Blaylock, right? He's hosting it. It starts at 10 p.m., right?
Sign up is 10, and they usually go on 10:45, maybe later.
Yeah, it's a great time, and I love the Daytona comics, literally. I love all of them. They're great guys, hilarious. Yeah, any shows they're doing, you guys should check out for sure, right? I think, too, they have Daytona Live, right? .com, I think.
Yep, DaytonaComedyLive.com.
Yeah, DaytonaLiveComedy.com, where you guys can check out what's going on over there. But back to you, Sareth, because you do hang out with those guys and you do all that stuff with them, and you travel around Florida doing comedy, and outside of Florida, obviously, you go to Colorado and other states. But what's kept you going for the last 12 years? Because now I realize I'm like on 6 years, and I was like, wow, dude, has it been that long? Like, really? I mean, probably serious in the last 3.5, 4 years, but it's like, wow, I've been doing this a while, and it goes fast, but it doesn't at the same time. So how do you feel about it, though?
I just love, it gets me out of the house, and I get to be with my friends and be silly.
Right.
And I set these little goals that I want to accomplish with comedy, and that's what keeps me going. It's set those little milestones that you can get instead of doing some crazy stuff. I want to get into all these festivals. It costs us more to get there than anything else, but it's good to build your network, but you can always build your network from home.
True. Yeah. I mean, I do understand though why people would want that opportunity, because they're looking for that random golden ticket that you're going to find the right booker who's looking for you, where maybe you get booked on something else that's even bigger festival or something like that. I mean, like personally, like I want, like, have you ever been to Skankfest or anything like that?
I've heard about it, and I love the Legion of Skanks and all those guys.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, because they're coming to New Orleans this year.
Yep.
So, and actually, I think tickets go on sale on the 29th, so that's around the corner. I just realized, triggering my own self. So I want to go because, like, that's the kind of festival that I envision when they talk about comics doing a festival. That's literally what I envisioned. So the fact that they've like brought that to life, for, I mean, how long they've been doing it? Probably 6 years too, right?
Yep, in multiple states. I know it's like New York and Vegas and NOLA.
Yeah, I think Vegas, they did it a few years in a row there. But yeah, it's cool that they're bringing it back to the East Coast now, though, because I mean, I could even drive to New Orleans to go, so it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping I'll be able to go this year. So what are your goals now, though? You say you're setting all these, I know, like last month, right? You had your birthday goals and you went on your little mini tour. I saw that.
Yep.
So what are your goals coming up? I know we're close to February now.
I want to do cities A through Z.
Oh, really?
Yep, and I got like 3 more or 4 more to go.
In the state of Florida or like
nationwide?
Nationwide. Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
So where are those locations, those cities at? Like what states are they in?
I'm gonna get K done with Kingsland.
Okay.
And then
That's good. That's smart. That's smart.
That's
We're talking about Georgia, guys, if you don't know.
Quincy, Florida. I want to get there.
Okay.
There's a city that's like starts with X in Ohio, and maybe I'll get Joe Malice to get on a tour with me, like a little run.
Okay.
And then Zephyr Hills, and those are like the only cities I need to get done with. So.
Oh, I used to live by Zephyr Hills.
Nice.
Yeah, because it's on the west coast of Florida. It's not that far from like Wesley Chapel area. Do you know that area?
Yep, I did Side Splitters out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Side Splitters is out there. I think my buddy Sean Guest also does host a mic at the Wesley Chapel Side Splitters place. So if you're in Tampa, you should go there too for their mics. I believe it's every Friday they have one.
And you guys sign up in advance.
Oh, and sign up in advance. I didn't know that,
Yep.
but sign up in advance.
Emails on their website.
Okay, emails on their website, guys. Emails on their website. See, that's the thing too. Having friends who have been doing this long, sometimes they know the little things that you don't know, because you'll be like, "Hey, have you ever gone to this mic?" And you usually know the details of it, or the host, or you're like, "It used to be this guy. I'm not sure," but I think the one thing too, you sent me to the page on Facebook, the comedy complaints page. Yeah. I don't know if I'm happy I joined that, honestly, because I see all these comics like saying things that we all deal with, but it's almost like, oh, I thought I've already accepted my fate on this. Like, it's just funny to hear certain comics complain about stuff that maybe because we've been doing it longer, we just go, that's kind of part of it, man. Like,
Yep.
You're not going to always deal with competent people in this game. Like, and they will weed themselves out, though. You know what I mean? I don't think people realize that. Like, just stay the course of who you are and what you're doing, and let those people just weed themselves out. You don't need to justify or validate your actions when those people are going to act a fool with other people. They don't need to. You're not the only person they're doing that with. I'm telling you.
And it really makes them look bad too. It's like, do I really want to book these people?
Yeah, you don't want to work with somebody who's difficult. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, comedy should be about the funny, but to a point. To a point. I mean, like, people still want to be around you or put up with you. At least have some decorum and shut your mouth when you're on a showcase, you know?
Big time.
Yeah. Or
Shut up, bitch!
Exactly. Exactly. If you don't like the people around, that's fine. You don't talk to them. Just go do what you need to do. I mean, Sareth and I joke around, but like, we're still gonna go to a mic even if there are people there that don't like us. Like, we still have to do our comedy. Like, we still have to practice those stupid 5 minutes, you know? So it is what it is. Like, we're in this for comedy. It's not like, if we get friends out of it, great. But it's like, I'm actually here because I don't give a fuck. Exactly. I don't give a fuck. No. Exactly. So, sorry, I'll kick my soapbox away now. I kicked it. But yeah, no, that's really cool. And you've watched the show, so you already know that that I tend to ask people about paranormal stuff and cryptids and aliens. And one day you like chimed in, you're like, I have plenty of stories. And I was like, do not tell me them. You're coming on the podcast because you're a great storyteller.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I know that like when you tell a story, I wish sometimes there's cameras on you when you're not on stage because like you have, it is the way you tell a story because you also like to hold nuggets back and then you hit us with them at the end that completes your punchline where you're like, but actually like, you know, like you do this Uno reverse on us where it's like, oh my God, he's doubling down. He's doubling down.
I really don't pay attention to my writing. I'm just like, as long as I can do a callback and like get really graphic sometimes. It's just.
Yeah, but you know, it's funny because like you said one time somebody said you weren't PG or what did they say to you that you were too graphic or?
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but you don't actually say anything like no profanity.
Yep, no profanity.
You never do. But that's because you're such a good storyteller. You paint a picture so well. You don't even need to use profanity.
Yeah. And I like to thank like Inspector Deck from the Wu-Tang Clan in Triumph, the verse. And
Yeah.
that's my guy, and that's what inspired me to like not cuss. And Method Man's recent albums, he doesn't cuss either, or his recent verses. So
Right.
I'm like, I'll just use those guys as my guiding lights.
Well, my guiding light is ODB, and all he does is curse. It's like that is my guiding light, especially in the Woo verse. Okay, so no, I told you this before in private, but ODB was always the comedian to me of the group, and I think because he played up this character, you know, people really believed that he was all about. I mean. He was, but he wasn't. But it was a character. I mean, he called himself Dirt McGirt for a reason. It's not like, you know, anyway, whatever. We don't have to get into the mythology of Wu-Tang Clan right
We'll
now.
go on forever.
I know.
No pun intended.
But yeah, so like, man, I wish I could talk to ODB now that he's passed on and be like, kind of have a channel ODB. No, but
get a Ouija board.
So obviously you believe then because if you've had experiences, right, you have a belief in something. Now, what about cryptids and like aliens and like the offshoots of like the ghostly world, you know?
Like the aliens, I probably like saw them flying in New Mexico when I was driving by at nighttime.
Right.
For sure.
I've seen some weird stuff in New Mexico desert at night driving. It's creepy.
It is creepy.
It's creepy and beautiful at the same time. It's like a liminal space.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like this weird liminal space that you're like, I just got to get through to civilization. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want, I was like, I literally too was looking for a gas station at one point and it was just about to go dark and I was like, I got to find it. And all of them were already closed. But luckily, you could still, certain gas stations out there, they still let you pump. Even if they're closed on the inside, they allow you to. And I was like, thank God, dude. Also, truckers were starting to pull up and I was like, I got to get out of here. Like, because I don't know if they're pulling up to get gas or get me, dude. So I'm like, and there's nobody inside, you know? Like, I don't know if there's cameras. Do they even get satellite out here? I have no idea, dude. I have no idea. But yeah, I was fine. But, so, okay, so you think you saw aliens out in New Mexico. What about cryptids? So, I almost said Chewbacca. I don't know why. I meant Chupacabra. Or, like, Bigfoot. I mean, like, do you believe those things possibly exist?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't see one, like, because I live in, like, a very wooded area, swamp area.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure there's something there.
Like a skunk man or skunk ape man. What do they call him? Skunk man, maybe?
Yep. And then and that's why I avoid the mountains of like whenever I travel to the West Coast through Colorado. It's like it's either the mountains or the deserts. I'd rather deal with aliens than the Bigfoot.
So what do you think Bigfoot is then? Like, because I think Bigfoot, and I'll tell you my piece, so you can say however you feel and realize I'm crazier than you. I believe Bigfoot is an interdimensional being.
He can just like a multiverse.
Yeah, I think they can move within parallel like dimensions. So like they're still like living on the same plane, but just in a different dimension. That's why sometimes you see them enter our dimension. Like, so that's my belief. It sounds crazy, I know, but that's really. I mean, it only makes sense because we have not found a body. There's now plenty of stories out there where there's communication, and some people have even said they've been communicated from them telepathically. And I heard of an experience where this lady said that one of the Bigfoots warned her that there are other different types of Bigfoots, and her clan or whatever tribe is not the good ones. Like if they find her, or if they find out she knows about them, they may come and harm her. But then there's other ones who will communicate. I know it sounds wild, dude, but I was like, okay, maybe, right? You know, I don't know anything. But yeah, Colorado. I knew somebody who said they saw tracks in Colorado.
It's possible. I mean, you never know what's out there. So that's why I'm like, I'm just going to stick to the desert part of Colorado where I am. I'm just going to deal with snakes and whatever, some rodents.
I guess that's why Florida's pretty good for you too, right? Because it's still like that, like more of a warm weather type of vibe versus like, okay, so in Pueblo you have a river by there, is what you're saying. Yep. I thought you meant here in Florida, because the skunk ape is Florida Bigfoot, and then they have regular Bigfoots in Colorado. Sorry.
Well, both. I mean, I'm pretty sure, because like, you know that La Riona or anything?
Oh, La Llorona.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's how I found out about her. Is like when I was in elementary, and they would always tell me like, yeah, just walk by the Arkansas River, just don't go down there and all. They just wouldn't put it everywhere she is. And
well, you know, the thing is, I will tell you, I consider her like a tulpa. You know what a tulpa is?
Nope.
A tulpa is like a It basically can manifest from belief, like energy from humans. So if you go around and you have a house that's empty, and for decades it stays empty, and somebody comes up with some story that it's haunted, and they start passing it down, it can actually manifest an entity in there. It's not real, but it kind of becomes real because the thought form manifests, because everybody's created the story for it, when really there was nothing in there at the time, but now there is, because we've just put into action something like that. So tulpas, like the La Llorona, I think was based off a true thing, but then people just, you know, like I'm Latina, and I will say we're very dramatic people. They love novellas, so I'm sure it was based off of probably a real story where this woman probably did what she did to her kids, and to maybe put fear in people, so they wouldn't do something like that again. They created this story of this woman coming back to look for her children after she had already drowned them in the river. So it's kind of like, it's a hard lesson, but I guess you're going to have to learn it. No, but some people say they hear her crying, and they hear, there's been experiences of it. So it's not to say that it didn't manifest and now it is something. It's just that it wasn't, I think, initially like that lady, her real ghost or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Did you ever hear her cry or wail?
I try not to go near the river whenever.
You're like, listen, they told me. You think that's your Cambodian belief system too? Cambodians are like, they're
superstitious.
Yeah, and heavily believe in the paranormal stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I actually like watching videos. People go into those like abandoned kind of villages and stuff. Like you can go, like in Japan too, there's sometimes they find these homes that have been like completely abandoned, and you could tell it was like a well-off family, like all this. So it's kind of weird to see that, and you go, yeah, why did you abandon this beautiful home? And so, yeah, but anyway, I want you to tell us some stories, if you don't mind, like what you've experienced, because I'm thoroughly interested in, especially with your cultural background, because I always love Asian ghost stories. Like, it's my favorite. It really is. Like, because there's spooky. Yeah. spooky. So tell us.
Pretty big time. And I joke about my sleep paralysis, but I'm like, that's like my very first paranormal experience was a sleep paralysis. I didn't know what it was. It was like early 90s. And I think it was from like a guy in the way of this. It started all off in like my first visit in Cambodia. Like I got in the way of some work, or he was carrying something big, and he got super mad, and something happened probably at that moment that I wasn't aware of. And so I got back home to Colorado, and like I felt that presence pushing on me, but I didn't know what it was, and I freaked out. I told my parents, I'm like, what is this thing? I can't move, I can't scream, I can't do anything. What is this? And they're like, it's probably a sleep paralysis demon. They had like monks bless us and like incense and the whole Buddhist ceremony and all that stuff, and just kept on following me everywhere. And so that was like my very first instance. And I like on the second trip to Cambodia, I remember I was on a plane, And some lady goes, if you want it to go away, all you have to say is like, if you're not from the Lord Almighty, you must leave now. Like as many times as you can for it to leave. But I fully embraced it. Like I talked dirty about it on stage, and it's like I named him Patrick, and every night we make whoopee, and I was trying to make a ghost reference.
So that was based off of this experience.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you about this, because what I think a lot of people get confused when they have, people do have sleep paralysis, but there's also times where it's actually you waking up consciously to coming back into your body. So you're actually experiencing the pressure of this plane, like moving back into it, which is gravity. So you're feeling that pressure of it. So it does feel like somebody's holding you down, because it's happened to me. I was even able to open my eyes and could see nothing holding me down, but I still couldn't move. So I asked for help, but I actually heard a voice. That was what was creepy. But also I wasn't creeped out at the time. I was just like, it was a soothing, soulful, like black voice. And I just heard him go, like, he sounded like Shaq or something, like force. And I realized, so I just took like an image of a light, and I like forced it into my body, and I realized I had to force myself like into my body. It was weird. Like I had to use that, and then I was fine. And I felt like as if I was put in a warm blanket, and you would think after thinking I was being held down and scared, I'd be scared. No, I went right back to sleep. So.
And some dreams are like that, like where it feels like a regular dream, and then you went to a different kind of dream, and then you feel the sleep paralysis. It's weird. It's like Inception.
Yeah, I think that's because you're probably lucid dreaming, and so you're like consciously in the dream state. Which, can you like control your dreams?
For some parts.
Yeah, because that's your lucid dreaming part. So sometimes lucid dreaming coincides with astral projecting, meaning when you're conscious in that state, try seeing if you're. I don't know what you believe, though. I was going to say to see if you could talk to your guides, but I don't know if you believe that. But see if you can maybe go somewhere you've never been or you wanted to see, because then that would tell you if you've projected somewhere or whatever. Or even ask somebody, like a friend, like, hey, can I come visit you when I'm sleeping, like to see if I can actually see something? Because I used to do that when I practiced astral projecting, to see if my recall of what I saw was really what was happening versus me just dreaming. I'm doing this, and it would work. I would actually do stuff like that. And you don't fly like people think, like where you're like, you just kind of think of it and you're there.
Yep.
You think of it and you're there, and that's it. So yeah, so I would say that. And so you say do you still have it, like the sleep paralysis?
Oh yeah, especially if I take a nap during the daytime, and then I'm trying to go to bed, and then it's like, if I sleep on my back, it happens.
Oh, 100%. But that's why I think you're astral projecting.
Yep. And sometimes I can see myself like sleeping.
Yes, you're astral projecting, 100%.
It's so wild, and I'm like,
100%. I'm glad we could clear this up.
Yeah. And if I heard some voices one time in my ear, and then like I saw like a black smoke above my bed with my eyes open. I couldn't move sometimes, like at one time, and
Okay.
it was, those are all. And I've had like more in Cambodia, and where I could actually taste my own blood on my third trip. It was wild. It was in this at my uncle's house in the capital, and then I had one at where I was apprenticing at. I slept on the couch and passed out, and I heard footsteps on the. It's like his house at the time. It was like a brick floor, and you could hear footsteps.
Yeah, like a little pitter patter thing.
Yep, and I asked him, I might as well say his name. I was like, his name's Clive Barker. And I go, hey, Clive, is this place haunted? And he goes, yeah. It's built in like, someone used to own it. And like some people say like, he has paintings all over the place from all his paintings. And he was like, sometimes people see the paintings looking at him from like different angles, and they freak out, and they don't want to go downstairs alone. And so I'm like, I've been here so many years, I can just do it willy-nilly and not be scared. So it's like,
I was gonna say, Sareth, you ever thought that maybe you're an intuitive person? Like, I was gonna tell you, you probably were getting more of a reaction in Cambodia because like, I would say it's, what's the word I'm looking for? More energetically aligned with you.
Possibly, because a lot of people, like, especially when I was like playing cards, like poker with my friends, like they were non-gambling, they were just fun at the bar kind of thing.
Right.
One of my phases, like, we have that thing, that magnet, that secret, that's like people are attracted to you, and that's why your life has been crazy so far, and you can't explain a single thing about it. It's like all kinds of things have happened, and the most out of this world thing, and I'm just a regular person. I don't know why this is all happening.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it happens to a lot more people. They just don't talk about it because, like, you're like, what? How do I explain this? I know it sounds like, I don't know, maybe I'm having a delusion right now, but I'm not. I've checked all the doors, the windows were closed, because I've had a lot of experiences, and I do try to debunk them, But if I can't debunk it, what else is there? What else is there, But I was going to ask you, did you actually hear what the voice said to you when you heard the voice?
It was unclear. Like, I remembered it when it happened, but now that a few years have passed, I can't remember a single thing. And I do remember this crazy story that happened in Cambodia, like the second trip that I went to. Like, my grandpa had like dementia and Alzheimer's. He couldn't remember a single soul, right? And then on my third trip, my last trip, my grandma goes, when you're the second time that you came here, like, your grandpa wanted to take you on a trip through the villages, but he was so weak and tired, and he was just like laying on the ground the whole time that he couldn't have the energy to take you.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it's okay. Like, and so what happened was, like, I was staying in her village, in her home, and usually when you leave your bed, like, the indent is gone, like the body heat's gone, and stuff. And so I got up, and for the electricity, the lights to come on your house, you had to turn on the generator. But there's like these little slots that were in, like, near the ceiling, with the wall attached, and like here's like there's the holes, and there was like light shining through. Like, I didn't pay attention to it or nothing. And so I went to the restroom. The toilet's like is in the ground, and so like the lights weren't on, so I was just peeing everywhere, and like they had a pot.
Like, this is what you get for no indoor plumbing now.
So I was like, I'm putting all the pot in the bucket and putting water all over.
Right,
the place.
trying to clean it up. Yeah.
And so I did that, and I made my way back, and so to my room. And I went and slept on the bed, and there was still body heat, and there was still an indent in there from I don't know what. And I go back to bed, and so I go back to bed, and I just see, like, I'm in a cart ride, and there's like no, I couldn't see anyone from the left or the right, but I know that I'm riding on a cart, and there's like a little cow that's pulling us, but no one was there. But I knew that was like my grandpa keeping his word. That was like the only way that he can take me on a cart ride. So that was like really intense.
So, like, okay, let me get this straight. So you fell back asleep, and then immediately you were with your grandfather in the car?
Of course, you had to be in like the dream phase, but yeah.
No, well, no. I mean, I want to
Yeah.
make sure, because like it was a so you feel like you had an inception dream with him where he was still trying to get you to basically have a day with him.
Yep.
That's cool, dude. I've had inception dreams with my daughter too, so I believe that stuff. I know a lot of people, and I've had dreams with other friends who confirmed. And actually, one of the dreams, he was mad at me in my dream. So I called him the next day and I asked him, and it turns out he was mad at me. And he waited a day, and he called me after I talked to him, and he called me back and he goes, "Hey, listen, I didn't want to tell you at the time because I was really freaked out when you called me and asked me all this stuff and told me about your dream." He goes, "But I did have that same dream."
Wow.
And he goes, "But I didn't." He goes, "I just was so freaked out. You knew, and that you called me on it and all this stuff." And I was like, "That's okay, dude, but thanks for confirming my shit." Because, like, I mean, he was upset, but he was like, I was like, "Yeah, it's just weird. I had this dream." And that's when he got real silent. He's like, "Yeah, I'm upset, but I'll talk to you later about it." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." But I mean, it was just weird, It was, and that was over 20 something years ago, though. I haven't that I'm aware of, because I can't really remember all my dreams that much sometimes. I've had like weird significant ones in the last year or so, but they're far and few between than they used to be. So it's like, so you still dream like that though, like real vividly?
Oh yeah, all the
See,
time.
I miss it.
It's
dude.
wild.
I miss it.
And like, Clive was like, "Why don't you put journals all over the place like I do, and then like get a dream journal by your nightstand? And if you remember
Smart.
everything, just write everything down and not talk to anybody before you do that, and just like write everything down that happened." And so,
No, that's smart because I mean, some of the dreams that when I was younger I wrote down, so it's cool to look back and like, cause you'll forget a detail, like you said, they said something, but you can't remember now, and you don't want to like make up something, like, you just want to be as accurate as possible. Plus, I think too, when you add these like little extra things, that it's like, why it's not even necessary. The whole point is, I saw some weird shit. I mean, like, I doesn't even. There was a cloud of black smoke above me, dude. Who cares what was said? Like, what are we doing? I see. So what other like? So is that like? Have you had more though than that, or?
the most recent one is probably like the Day of the Dead. You have it in your Latin culture.
Well, it's more Mexican, but yes.
Mexican.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not that people don't celebrate the Day of the Dead outside of Mexico, but it is more of a Mexican cultural thing. But yeah.
Yep. And then like I remember hearing about it, and like one of my favorite movies is The Crow with Brandon Lee in it. And like after Devil's Night, and the spirits come and
Right.
So I had that experience like in my room recently. I'm like, I felt like someone like next to my bed and like holding me, like hugging me, but while they were standing up, kind of hug.
Yeah.
While you're laying down. So I felt that, and I'm like, what is this spirit doing? I'm like where I live was like by the canals, and so like you can hear like it's so awkward because like I hear like I know like how there's a saying that if you hear like an owl outside your window, someone close to you is gonna die or something, or you'll get good luck or something.
I don't know of that. I'm sure there's something like that, but I don't know of it. I don't know what the saying is.
That happened with like me on one occasion, then like someone close to me passed away, which was so bizarre. And I'm like, please let the next owl be good luck. So I'm like, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Well, I will say this, like, I don't know if I talked to you about what I've been doing lately I'm part of a metaphysical group and stuff. But, us practicing awareness causes us to be aware of those things, like to be aware of the universe speaking to us in those ways, if not indirectly, because they can't necessarily always come to us directly, right, with the information. So I think it's really cool that you pick up those signs. That's why I'm saying I think you have some mediumship abilities that you haven't used.
Yeah, I kind of sensed that because I went to Casadega like by myself one time, and man, it's
intense over there.
Yeah, it's so much energy going on.
Do you ever practice like meditations to like cleanse your chakra or call back your power, any of that stuff?
Nope. And I tried getting sage and
I haven't. I have it right here.
Oh yeah,
I have it right here.
I went to that one shop that's on 5 Points.
Yes, the Midnight Sun.
Yep.
Midnight Sun, yeah.
So that's where I got mine at.
So what do you do? How do you cleanse your place?
I'm just going to light this and just like, I should like, how you're supposed to leave all your doors open and stuff?
Yes.
Yep, I forget to do that. So
don't do that. Then don't do that. Open up a window.
Okay.
Just open up a window, and that way they can get out through somewhere. Because what happens is, I mean, you probably don't have anything bad or anything. I honestly think you just have passerbyers. They just see your light, and so they go towards it. But you don't know what to do with it, so then they realize you can't help them, so they move on probably.
Possibly.
And plus, as long as you maintain like a high vibrational, like where you're a jolly person, and that a lot of things can't leech onto that. Do you know what I mean? They'll leech onto people who are more emotionally unstable or things like that. It's a little easier because they're less aware of the environment around them. And I actually was talking to my mentor about the comics recently because she thinks it's actually really great that I talked to you guys about this because she believes all of you guys are intuitive. But because you guys can, when we go on stage, I should clarify, she says the good ones. Comics who do well in crowds because they can read the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And whether they believe that's magical or mystical or whatever, she goes, I don't care. I see it. Like, she can see energy movement. She goes, so like each one of them has their own abilities. They just, whether they develop them or not is one thing, but more comics will have an ability to read energy because they're more observational people. And one of the practices she does when she teaches a class is to teach people to start looking at things, anything, the bugs on the ground, the birds in the sky. Because as humans now, we tend to just be on a screen. And I realized I started practicing that even before I started working with her. And like I'll be in a waiting room and I put my phone away. Like that's prime time, right? To look at your phone. You don't want to. No, I look at people because I'm in a waiting room. This is like perfect, to me to make up a story of the person next to me. Like, I don't know. But I'm doing that as a comic because that's how I get my creative things going. And but really what I'm doing is reading energy, and I didn't realize that's what I was doing. So like, and it's surface level. It's not like in depth. It's not breaking any rules, because our rule is basically to read somebody in depth, like, if they have attachments, like a family member, whatever, we ask permission, because you're supposed to, because you'll be told the wrong stuff if you don't. They're not going to tell you the right stuff, because they're going to be like, who said you could look into this person? Who said that? So because to me, we have a belief that each person has a team, spiritual team behind them, and that team is always looking out for you for the most part, right? It's up to the person to also call upon them to come and help them if they need extra help. But their job is just to make sure you maintain the spiritual contract you made to yourself before you got here. Because we also believe in reincarnation. So you have to believe in that. I don't know if you believe in reincarnation you're Buddhist, or your family is?
My family is, but I'm like, I have no religion, but like they always tell me like, whatever you do, don't donate a part of your liver, your heart, and all that stuff.
Oh, you can still do that. That's not going to affect your soul incarnation of your
but
soul.
Then, if you do, what happens is if you go into the next life, you'll be born without it. And I don't know if it's true or not, because like I've never died before.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure, like, that's why I'm not a donor, because I'm like, I want to make sure everything's intact, even if I come back as a bug. And like you said about reading the rooms, like, that's what I do. Is like, that's why I watch everyone do stand before me, so that way I can gather all the material that I need to do, like callbacks on previous comedians, so that way we can all be on the same page in case someone bombs in front of me.
Right.
And like, I watch everyone. If I don't laugh, it's because it's hard for me to laugh. It's like, unless you got me really good, like, I'm not gonna fake it,
Yeah.
And so but yeah, I read the room. It's like, if they laughed at clean jokes, then it's a clean room. If it's a dirty room, they love dirty stuff. So I usually build up clean and then I get dirty.
Yes.
Unless it's super dirty and they love it, then I'm just gonna go full dirty and
fuck it.
Yeah.
I think it's also your demeanor, in the sense, like, because you come off as, you appear to be shy, but you're not really shy. I think it's just because you're not loud and aggressive as maybe some of the other comics who could come up before you, that they're always like, oh, like, because you keep adding more to it and layering it. So it is nice to watch. It's funny to watch people go, oh my God, did he just did he just say what I thought he said? Oh my God.
And like on the bug on the ground kind of thing, like you said earlier, is like, a lot of folks just like kill it, and which is really mean. Like, I trap mine with a glass, put a glass paper underneath it, and just like set it free. Like,
Right.
I rescue all my bugs. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be a killer. Like, don't test me, but I'm not a killer.
No, yeah, but you do kill, though. I've seen you kill before.
I mean, in rooms, but like not actual insects and bugs.
Oh, no,
like
no,
spiders
no.
Like,
I don't kill those things.
yeah,
That's
you
not
gotta
what
set
I'm-
them free.
No, I don't. My mom doesn't understand it either, because I even will catch the lizards and I'll put them, because my cat loves to bring me lizards, so I have to rescue them from her half the time. And I've saved 2 squirrels from her. I've saved 1 bird. I didn't save the other bird the other day because I didn't know what was happening. My mom let her kill a cardinal. Anyway, it was sad. I went outside and cried. So I was like,
There's so many lizards by my house, and like, I didn't know how to capture it because they were so fast. So my dad doesn't know about this, but I took a hose and I just doused the entire bathroom to chase it out. I didn't know what to do.
you get a cup or something and you just...
They're so fast though.
Not fast enough. Like, if you get one that's been sitting there for a moment, you can... I have a clear cup. Actually, I got that cup from Kava. I dug the water cup. Not the thick plastic one, but they're throwaways. So I just took that home with me, and I was like, "This is perfect. I'm gonna keep it," because I just used water out of it, and then I use it. I get the cup, I cover them up, Then I put a little paper and I take them outside. Perfect.
Well, that's nice.
And I keep, yeah, but I wouldn't worry too much about the lizards. They are invasive, so unless they're the gnolls, like the nice green ones, pretty ones. So I'm trying to help the divine creatures, but I'm not going to be too upset if my cat does kill one, but I am trying to be nice. If I find one, I'm going to try to. All right, foul ball. You're never going to tell us your name, are you? Oh, what's up, Graybeard? I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Thank you. So I have a question though too. So have you ever had dreams that you like met somebody that you knew but you didn't know how you knew them and they were giving you advice?
I don't really like to talk to people in my dreams.
I bet you your spirit guide's been trying to talk to you forever and
Yep.
you will not talk to them.
Yep, because these. I don't know who said this, but I found it somewhere. But they said like, if you see someone's face in your dream, that's probably a ghost standing right next to you. And I'm like, I'm trying not to look at faces in my dreams and all that stuff.
That's not true, by the way. I mean, that's not necessarily true. Like, so before I realized who I was talking to, I would see him in the distance, and he would be waving at me, and you'd think I'd be creeped out, but he looked friendly. I didn't get a vibe from him that he was not friendly. But I just was like, who's this guy? Like I felt like I knew him, but I didn't know him. Not in this lifetime, right? So I'd see him randomly. And also the scenery I realized the scenery with him was always like a Greek scenery or something weird, that like ancient Greek stuff. And so every time I would start lucid dreaming or astral projecting inside my dreams, he'd get closer. Every time I dream, get closer. Finally, one day, I was able to talk to him, and I'm on a city street in New York in front of a brownstone. Where? I'm in Florida, right? So why am I in New York? And he's like, hey, I got to introduce you. I've been trying to get your attention for whatever. And he bring me up to the house. He's trying to talk to me, and him and who I now believe is probably my joy guide was trying to explain to me how the universe worked, and I didn't want to listen to him. I started doing like Hail Mary. Like I was speaking Latin. I don't speak Latin. I don't even know the prayers, but I was doing it, and I got the whole earth to shake. Like the whole thing was shaking. Yeah, I did. Like the earth was gonna like rip open, and I like, my daughter was with me. That was another Inception dream, and I was like, we're leaving. It was also like, Matrix, when Neo goes to that lady's house, and she has all these kids in the kitchen, and they're like that's kind of like how it looked in a way where we put Ariel in the kitchen to like color her, because she was still young at the time, my daughter. And then they were trying to talk to me. Anyway, we left and I was like, I want my sister here and I want her here now. And like she popped into my dream because I knew I was like lucid dreaming. And I was like, come on, let's go. And she's like, wait, what? Wait, Vanessa, where? Like she was asking all these questions. I go, come on. She goes, wait, how are you doing that? Because me and Errol started flying. And I was like, come on, let's fly. Let's go. She's like, I go, just do it. We're in a dream state, dude. Just do it. So she started flying, and then Errol popped out of my dream, and I knew she was going to wake up. So I was like, I got to go, Melissa. Errol's going to wake up. And she goes, what? All right, bye. Like that. And then I called my sister that day to see what she was wearing, all this stuff. And I confirmed with her what she was wearing, everything. Only problem is my sister was sleeping at the same time, by the way, midday, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. But she was high, so she didn't remember any of her dreams, so she could confirm that. But she did get freaked out that I knew what she was wearing.
Oh, I bet.
And I asked her, too, if her hair was cut or pulled back that day. And she goes, oh, I pulled my hair back that day. Because in the dream, I was like, I could tell her hair was different, but I couldn't tell if she had pulled it up or if it was like, because she has layers. So I didn't know if it just cut short. But she had pulled it back that day.
Wow.
Interesting, right? Yep. Like that. It's nice when you can confirm with somebody, because I was like, just answer these questions. You don't have to tell me, because I was like, were you sleeping at 1 p.m.? Were you? Like, I was like, she's like, yeah, who saw me? Because she was sleeping on her job at the record store, so she wasn't supposed to be sleeping. That's what she's like, who saw me? Who saw me? Anyway, but have you heard, Marshall, this is when I'm going to bring up the video for Sareth to watch. Have you heard of my alien video that I caught on my dash cam?
Nope.
All right. I want you to take a look at this. Now, I'm jaded. Obviously, I'm already calling it that, but you can tell me what you think it is, okay? And just before the overpass, you'll see a little lights start to pop up.
You did.
And initially, like when I'm driving, I didn't see this light. I only saw it after I watched the video. When I do see the light in real time is when I go under the overpass.
I
But it
said
pops up right there. And
you're
you'll
the
watch it.
one
It'll
who's
start to
putting
go
yourself
across the
on.
screen, and you go, "Oh my God, wait, what is that?"
All right,
Right there.
Here
It
we
popped
go.
up. You see it?
All right,
And so it flies. I go under.
all right. Anything for us?
And the audio, you'll hear like I'm listening to my podcast for the audio. So I'm just, you see it? All right. Now I'm still telling myself maybe my perspective's off. You know, maybe it's a tall pole. Maybe it's an LED light. But then I
Dude,
realized, wait a second.
seriously though.
That's a little bit above it. That's
Yeah,
a
I
little
can't
too
talk
high.
about this.
But it's not too high for like a little other light. And then I was like, wait a second.
No,
Now it's
there's
going
not
down.
names.
Now it's
There's
over
not
me.
names or anything.
So when it gets about here, in the audio, you can hear me go, "How's it going, dude?" Because I realize what I'm looking at. But now you can see how low it is.
I'm gonna pull their book because
Actually, and it's
I
right
have
here when I say that.
opinions of what I think I'm
So
seeing,
it
but I
goes
wanna,
over my car,
If you look at these these cars,
and then I go.
they have.
I look in the sunroof, side mirrors, whatever, back
there's
mirror.
a lot
It's
of
gone.
alchemy
No sound, no
kind of
nothing.
stuff on these cars. They're pretty rad.
That's
actually.
your opinion, my guy.
You did.
Thank
Okay.
you for blasting
Definitely
that on
something.
mine.
I mean,
No, I
it's
just
no
wanted-
airplane, that's for sure.
It's no airplane. It's definitely not a drone, by the way.
Nope.
Because
it goes by, like,
I
it's
said
just
car
like,
thing. You're
just levitates.
you're
Just
the
like,
one who's putting yourself on.
yeah,
that.
and also if we were to play that back,
Alright.
and I'm kind of upset about it because when we go under the overpass, I noticed after watching this video so many times another light comes in. So I wish I had kept the rest of the video because I only have the 2 minutes of this drive. I wish I had, because it writes over, so I tried to save it as fast as I could.
Dude,
But if I had watched the
seriously,
rest of the
though.
video, I would have liked to have seen if that other light
Yeah, I can't
disappeared
talk
too.
about this.
Because I didn't notice it till after watching this video. So once we go under the
No, there's
overpass,
not
I'll show you.
names.
And it looks
There's
just
not
like that
names or
light from a
anything.
distance initially too. So I think it was with it. But it was like letting it do its thing with me and just keeping an eye.
Pull their book
So, okay,
because
so we're gonna
I
come
have
across here.
opinions of what I think I'm seeing,
And I'll
but I
show you
wanna-
when the second light
if you
pops
look
up.
at these
Because I didn't
cars,
realize it
they
until
have,
after.
like sigils and
There's one,
there's
but
a
then
lot
this one
of,
starts to come in.
Alchemy kind of
And,
stuff on these cars. They're pretty rad, actually.
And that's when I'm like,
you
oh my
did
God,
something.
I didn't even pay attention to that one because I was so focused on the other one. I didn't realize there was one hovering by. Isn't that interesting? And you don't see it at first because, you know, you're focused on that
You're
main
the
one.
who's putting yourself
But this
on
guy is
that.
just hanging out waiting, I think, for this
All
guy.
right, here we go. All right.
maybe they're lovers.
No, they're just Palladian, dog. They're just the Palladians. They're giving me a little homage, a little nod, saying, "You see us, we see you, buddy." So, anyway, cool, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. So anyway, but I see what people don't understand is like my group and stuff. We practice elevating ourselves and communication with these beings. So, I think that's why it's. And I was told I'm supposed to share this with people because it is tangible evidence of something. What that is, you can believe it or not believe it's alien or not. That's up to you, you know. I believe it's celestial, and leave it at that. I mean, I guess that's a generic term for something otherworldly, you know. So nobody gonna tell me different, right?
Yep.
So anyway, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So but did I do something, Marshall, or was that just okay? Sorry. Okay. So I have a question though. So again, about going back to seeing the same person in your dreams, do you just try not to look at anybody? You've never noticed a running character?
I mean, I've seen like people in my past, and like
Oh, okay.
I'm like, it's like, what? Why are you in here? I don't like you. So I
Maybe
try not to talk to them.
Maybe it's because you're supposed to deal with something that why you don't like them.
Yep.
Maybe it's that, or maybe the person is trying to apologize to you or something.
Yep. And I feel like if they appear in your dream, they're trying to tell you something.
Sometimes.
Yep. I mean, not that same person that you see in
Yeah.
that dream. That they want to communicate with you, but you're afraid that they still don't like you. And
Yeah, and all that stuff. It all depends, right? Because like our brains, obviously, in this tangible dimension, right, is gonna overthink things, and we may work itself out through dreaming. But then there's also weird, mystical, magical stuff that happens that you go, listen, that felt a little too real. Okay, that was like a little too on the nose with everything. Like I said, in the Inception dreams, you know, and the fact that I think people have them more than they realize. They just don't talk to each other. They don't go, hey, I had this weird dream with you or whatever, you know. And then you realize, oh, this is what this is actually pretty normal when you're connected to somebody. Like me and my daughter, like I dreamed with her before she was even born. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that was rooted even in when she was in my womb. Then you're going to tell me it won't happen outside? No, of course it's going to happen. Because I remember when her soul entered her body. I can't explain it. Like she was growing already, but like when her actual soul entered her body, I dreamed of her that night. I dreamed of what she was going to look like when she was born, how she was going to look. And it was really creepy because it was like a train spotting baby. Like, you know, when the baby's across but she was, what happened was her father was like trying to help me put my shoes on or something on the bed. And this is in a dream state. He bent down. And when he bent down, she came crawling on his back up towards me. But like somehow she was still stuck to its back, like through his skin. So she was like it was weird. Wow. But she was like moving as if to get away from him to come to me or something like that. And then I knew what she was going to look like. And I knew it was a girl. At the time, though, we were thinking it was going to be a boy. And so when they asked me, I go, no, I think it's a girl. I think I've been dreaming of her, so I'm thinking and I was right. So, I don't know. Things happen, man.
For sure. Man, that's wild. And when I saw your video, it got me thinking, like, because I travel alone a lot for comedy. I don't like to travel with people. Sometimes I do.
Right. I know. I have the same feeling.
And I see, like, so many falling and shooting stars, like, all the time. And sometimes they're so close that you can see, like, their tail end and they turn blue.
Yes.
It's wild.
Which was similar to that color.
Mm-hmm.
That's why at first, and the glare, too. I didn't mention the glare, but I've seen falling stars. And initially, you would think it was one because, you know, they kind of have that stream. But that's a glare from my windshield. That's not a glare from that thing. It was just the camera reflection off my windshield being dirty and whatever else. So,
but those are definitely two lights for sure.
Yeah.
One was more blue than yellow.
Yes, and that's why initially I thought it was LED because I was like maybe they just changed the bulb to a different color, to a more efficient bulb. You know, that's all I thought was happening. But have you ever had your cards read? You don't have to have them read, by the way, if you don't want to.
I mean, sure, if you want to. I mean, but it feels like I had it during the pandemic. I know it sounds silly.
No.
But I'm so bored. Tell me something about my Capricorn. And like I put all my horoscope signs like in my.
Are you a Capricorn?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That makes way more sense. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking.
Like they go, are you sure you want that energy to like enter the dimensions and all that stuff? I'm like, I don't know. But if you feel comfortable. Sure.
Wait, they said what to you? The energy to enter what dimensions?
Like, do you want that good or bad energy to enter the dimensions? Like, you know, bug you like randomly, and I'm like, we're not playing the Ouija board. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So I'm like, I don't know. Is it a good thing or a bad thing to have your tarot? Is it tarot?
Yeah, they don't know. I'm just shocked at whoever said that to you because that sounds so silly. Because
I think it was on YouTube.
Oh, okay, okay. So I'm going to tell you this. Yeah. Obviously, we set an intention. We say, I say a little prayer and I basically say only good. You know, like it doesn't matter. If you set an intention and you say this is the only thing that's acceptable and you believe that is the only thing, guess what? That's only that thing that's going to show up. It's this weird thing that these people try to say like somehow your power is. You give your power away. So if you don't believe you're protected, you won't be protected, but you are protected. So I would say, don't worry, my guides protect my ass and anybody around me, so you'll be fine.
Okay, sounds like
I also sage.
Oh,
so
nice.
I do all that too before I do it. I cleanse the cards. So I brought these two, but I wanted to see which one you would prefer because I had a gut feeling, but then I was like, I don't know, maybe like Spirit was telling me just bring both and let them choose.
Let's see here. I mean, I love tools, so I love eyes. But it looks too dark for me, so I kind of like my energy is going towards that one.
That's the one I thought you'd choose.
Yeah.
Because I almost brought this, and then I heard Spirit go, no, the other. And I was like, well, I'll just bring him to choose. And then they told me, no, he's going to choose that one. And I was like, okay, we'll see. So I was right. Because I was like, initially, I'm right in my validation. You're validating what I thought I heard from them. So that's good.
And you know how much I love turtles because I look like some of the ninja ones.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't get that because of that, but I It's funny because this was once Chance's, but it's mine now, and he gave it to me. It's not like I took it, and so, but it works because now I've been researching the god Hermes, and one of the signs is a golden tortoise. So I thought that was interesting that I have one already.
That's what I call Herman now. Ellsworth is Hermie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it would be cool if his name was Hermes.
Yep.
So, but you never got one from somebody in person.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna do a little.
Because Casadega charges way too much. So I'm like, I'm not.
Wait, how much are they charging?
A lot. I'm like,
What's a lot?
$50. I'm cheap, so $50.
Yeah. No, it is, but it isn't. You know what I mean? It depends if they actually have abilities. You know what I mean? Like if that's their living or something like that. Marshall, do you mind if we? Well, I was gonna say also maybe you want to lift the garage just slightly.
No, it's okay.
No. I mean it's for the spiritual part.
Oh.
Or if you can't, that's okay. Can I open the?
I can't get to it yet.
Okay, I'm gonna open that door though to your hallway a little bit.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, we gotta let things out.
Yep. Let it out.
Okay.
I can get it. I can get it.
No.
Okay.
Oh my God, I don't know if this is a good idea.
I wish I had thought ahead of time. I could have played the music while you're doing this.
Yep. Some Cypress Hill for all the smoke.
That's okay. I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick, but Sareth kind of needs a little bit more around him. Not a bad thing,
That's good.
but I think it's because you're aware that you attract stuff.
A lot. I don't know why I attract them. It's just, I attract some weird things to my life.
Marshall's getting cleansed every weekend now for me. Hold on, I gotta go open this real quick, Marshall.
It smells really nice.
Oh yeah, this is sage with cinnamon.
Mm-mm.
So the cinnamon stick too allows energies to move. A lot of things are like you can work as a. I should have brought Palo Santo, but they told me that you would prefer sage, so I brought that. So I don't know, maybe that's. Do you know what Palo Santo is?
Nope.
Okay, so it is another like form of wood that people burn during ceremonies and stuff to cleanse the area and to cleanse it and to basically I guess just get rid of and bring in positive energy. Also bring in ancestors, things like that. All right, it will hopefully burn itself out. I hope. We'll find out. We'll find out.
The token.
And if it doesn't, I'll go cleanse the rest of Marshall's house for him. All right. Let's get this party started.
Let's go.
Now, do you have any concerns recently or anything you want your spirit team to kind of help answer for you? And you don't have to tell me. It doesn't have to be specific. And if it's something that I think maybe private, I won't say it, okay? But remind me, because I'm bad. Like a lot of times readers, when they start reading, and it's a form of channeling, but it's not like a full channel, but it's a form. We will forget what we say to you because it's your personal stuff. It's not ours. So luckily, this will be timestamped. So if you have questions afterwards with stuff I said, you can always message me because you will not be the first person to come back and go, so about that thing you said, can I get more clarity on that? And I'm like, yeah, you had a chance last time. No, I was like, but yes, I will. Because I can pick up the thread of energy again. You've already given me. Oh, may I read you, by the way?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Now you've given me permission to read you. All right, spirit. Now are you thinking of something you want? Or a question, I mean? Or
what's gonna happen like when I finally quit comedy? Like what's the next chapter of my life? Because like usually it falls in my lap.
Yeah, but I feel like you still want to do something with horror though. You still want to do something with special effects.
I do want to return to horror.
Yeah, because that's what I think you're gonna do. Yeah. That's what I see you doing. Sorry, it happens fast. It's weird when I start doing it because you guys look at me differently, and then when I do it, then you guys start getting freaked out. So I was like, just let you know.
Like, it has come to like, when I see like a Clive interview in like Rue Morgue recently, I'm like, maybe it's like, when I think about him a lot sometimes, and with the fires going on in LA, and I don't know, it's just whenever he goes to a convention, I'm like, I'll go see you, I'll make the trip.
Right.
So And plus, like, I don't want his teachings to go to waste. I mean, none of them went to waste so far, but it's like I wanted to scare people, and that's what he taught me how to do. And so maybe I should go back, and because I got a lot of scary stories in me that I need to unleash.
Yeah, I mean, well, so do you want to just write, or what do you want to do for it? Because I see you collaborating with a lot of people though, but I don't think it's in Florida.
Yes, my heart's not in here
No.
for the long run.
No, it's not here.
Yep.
But I do see you going back to Colorado for a bit. But were you thinking about Las Vegas or something?
I don't want to be in a desert town because it gets so hot. But I want something in the central time zone for some strange
Okay,
reason.
so maybe
That's what's
closer
pulling
to
me.
the. So are you going to Texas? What are you doing? Illinois?
Both cities like Chicago. Like
So you were
heart's,
thinking about either one of these?
like Gurnee, Illinois, because I want to be in between Milwaukee and Chicago, and then I kind of want to be in a tiny house in Austin for some reason. Those two places keep on calling me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got a gut reaction when you said, what was it, Gurnee,
Uh-huh.
Illinois? Ooh, yeah. So who's there? Who's in Gurnee?
Well, there's Six Flags, but it's like the perfect location between Milwaukee and Chicago,
Okay.
and it's like 27 minutes
I
away
think
from
that's where you're
O'Hare.
going, dude. That's where I think you're going. Yeah, that's where you're going to go.
Oh.
You're going to choose that. I think also, too, I guess cost of living in Austin is going down, right? You didn't say Austin, though.
I did. I want to live in a tiny house.
Okay, you did say.
Because like Rob Ford was like, yeah, they were only charging $10,000 to live in those houses.
Yeah, the tiny houses are, yeah. I mean, the cost of living's going down because they built too much.
Mm.
But I feel like there's some reason you're choosing Gurnee over Austin, though. I just think that you're going to feel Austin maybe overly saturated.
And I love the small town. I was looking at the population,
Yeah.
but I know it gets down to like negative something degrees out there during the winter.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could see being a problem is maybe the cold. But you kind of dealt with it in Colorado, right? I
Yep.
mean, if you went up north, I mean.
I miss Four Seasons a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the magic of Christmas. Like, yeah, you can get depressed or whatever, but you have like this beautiful, like, casual fall into it, literally. So,
Yeah.
all right. Cut the deck, though. We already got one. We already got an answer, though, because I don't need cards, by the way, to read people, just FYI. But I'm trying to get back to it because it can help specify certain things. But I do think you're going to go to Gurnee, Illinois. But go ahead and cut the deck any way you want. Put it back together any way you want.
Oh.
That's okay. Whatever way you want.
That
That's just how it may have been intentional, honestly. All right, spirits. Give Sareth an answer. Well, let's confirm. Is he going to move to Gurnee, Illinois? And these are archetypes, so I would say that this is probably just this will be a theme of I think an overall attitude about it. So we'll see what it comes up with. The creator, look at that. This is good. Okay, the cave, which is what you like to be in to do that stuff. And you're going to go there, dude. Yes, I think you're going to enjoy it. Your downfall is, though, being a loner. So stop doing that as much when you get there.
I'm trying.
I know, but this is the thing is you love creating, but you do isolate, especially when you're doing that. But because of that, all the hard work, you produce gems, you produce stuff. So yeah, dude, I think you'll be fine going there because you're still going to do what you've always done. But do you have another question before I move on to this or move on to the cards?
I know it's like don't deal with love because that's what's going to happen naturally.
You know, you sound like me, Sareth. I hate asking about that topic too because I don't really want to know the answer to it because I was like, am I going to be sad now or later? like, you know what I mean? But if you want, we can ask that.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about love.
Okay. Oof. Sorry, my heart chakra just went heavy for a sec. Not bad heavy, but it like excitement, like weird anxiousness. Maybe you got anxious?
Possibly.
Okay. So I was like, the village. The prayer. The siren. Oh, shit, dog. All right. I'm going to actually read the book for these, but what I think it is a movement and you being faithful, having faith that the universe is going to bring you somebody. I think you don't have that much faith. And I think you need to change that, because that's what's preventing you from bringing your siren to you. Okay? So I think I can say this. This has to deal with self-worth. So just change that, and you literally will change the energy flow to yourself, and you will get her or them or they, whatever. You will get that person. So, but I'm still going to read this because I am curious to see if my intuition is somewhat similar to what this says. But these are all archetypes. So basically the way she creates this is that she intuitively just says like what we get from this. And like I would say, like the village is usually a small collection, right, of people. And it's going to, I have a feeling it's going to be within that group, whatever it is that you're part of, the village you're part of. But the prayer is having the faith that they're going to bring it to you, because I think you've been your own worst enemy with that.
Oh, yeah. I've been single for like 14 years.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't blame you, though. You know what I mean? Like, I was in a 5-year or close to 5-year relationship, and like, I've had guys ask me like, "Oh, you're saying," like, "Yeah, but I'm not looking." Like and some have been like, "Well, I wasn't." I was like, "Dude, relax. I'm just letting you know, because like obviously you're asking for a reason. Like, you know, but it's not you. Literally, it isn't you, dude. I don't care. Like, I'm not looking." So for women, I think it's easier for us to turn that off. You know, men still have their testosterone, you know, seeping in their ball sack. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's a little more motivation out there for them to start. Yeah, exactly. For them to start talking to people. So
I need to watch those like single videos. Like, it's best being single on YouTube. It's like,
oh yeah, that's
there's
also
so negative people.
Yeah, that's also another thing. Is like, no, it's your own choice. You do what you want. But the thing is, just be happy, right?
Yep.
And usually, if you're internally happy, usually it opens up pathways for the universe to keep giving you that abundance, you know, keep giving you everything that you desire and stuff. And it sounds so simple, but it's not, right? Because we have some weird, sometimes internal dialogue that prevents us from moving forward in life and whatever else. So I'm working on the same gosh darn thing. And that's part of the reason why I don't want to welcome anybody new until I'm comfortable believing that it's going to be a different thing the next time around, where I keep my self-worth, and you know what I mean? Like, so, but at this point, you're your own worst enemy, though.
Oh, for sure. Cause like, I'm like, you know, like they say that there's 3 phases for every horoscope or whatever. I'm like the second phase. The Capricorn phase, whatever that is. I'm like, there's a goat and all that jazz.
Oh, there's a
hermit and all.
Okay. I see what you mean.
Yep.
You know, sometimes, you know, you weren't there. You weren't there at Shantytown, but I wrote a whole joke about that, about YouTube tarot card readers, where it's like, it's always the same theme, where it's like past lives, you guys couldn't be together, and now in this lifetime, he doesn't, you know. And the funny thing is, I make fun of it, but I still kind of believe all of it. You know what I mean? Because if this is a reincarnation, like, it would make sense if people have similar themes in their life, if they're trying to learn lessons, because maybe they won't learn it in that lifetime, but they have to learn this one, and then they learn something else in the next one. So I was like, could it be possible? Sure, anything's possible, but let's have some discernment. Okay, not everything's for you, my guys. Don't look at every YouTube video and think it's for you. all right, so let's look up the village. Oh, and these cards don't matter if they're upside down or whatever, so don't even think, like, most of them are facing you, this top row, but like technically I'm supposed to read it how it faces me, since I'm the reader. But these cards don't matter. The way she made them, she says it. I mean, actually, that's not true. I guess she says you can utilize them that way, but I don't. But I am already reading it the way I'm reading it, so we're just gonna confirm if I'm right or not. And this book is, it's so well. Silvertooth was like, I don't know if that book's small enough.
Yeah.
And I was like, shut up, dog. All right. How come I can't find it? Maybe I don't know how to count.
Maybe it's in the cards.
You're so dumb.
I am so dumb, dog. I am, dog. Gotta love this dead air energy on a live stream. All right, here we go. I got it. Hold up. All right. So the village presents us with a conundrum. One hand, it's the place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draw us back. On the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. So basically, they're saying you got to leave, bro. You got to leave. Have faith in yourself. Anyway, all right. And around the village, an unspoken boundary exists, one most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. The energy of the village is present anytime we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. It may have served us in the past, yet staying with its parameters will never satiate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return. For now, the world awaits. All right. And
I felt that.
yeah, and you know that you're supposed to be leaving. I think you've known that for the last few years. You haven't done anything about it. So
Yeah. It's just I got to take care of family and stuff. And I'm like,
yes, I have that same. I know what you mean.
yep.
I know. It's that. I think it's also that, well, were you born? You were born here, right?
Born in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh,
yep.
okay. So you're like me. You're first gen. So like the culture is very much ingrained in us of our culture outside of the United States. So I think it's sometimes hard for our friends who don't grow up in that environment of like this obligation that you can't put them in a nursing home. Like that's not going to happen.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like that you're going to have to sacrifice and wash their ass for them. And you know what I mean? Like, okay. So when light, it's intimate, rooted, intergenerational, communal. When dark, small-minded, gossip, trapped, restricted. And it says, if you want to go deeper, look up Haruki Murakami's Hard-Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World.
Is that a book?
I believe it is. And I believe that's what you're dealing with. The village is the dark side. We know Jacksonville comedy.
Well, comedy in general.
Yeah, right. That's true. Actually, I have a friend who's in Asheville, and she was like, "Dude, it's like this everywhere." Like she's like, we have the same issues that we have there that you guys have here. Like I was like, well, that's nice to know. It's nice to know we all suck everywhere. But everybody has a goddamn ego. All right, and we're going to get to the prayer. If I can count. All right.
It's true about the whole village thing because I'm like, I feel like my festivals are like, have ran their courses. Because like my website's a quarter in your dream pictures, a quarter, and then there's like 12-5, because it's 12 in Colorado, 5 here. And then like it's just 2025. It's just like and there's a highway that runs through Colorado that's I-25.
Yeah.
So it's like that's perfect. And I have like the perfect artwork to say goodbye with.
Oh, so you're going to use numerology and do all this synchrony stuff. Oh, that's good. That's cool, actually. I think I kind of like that.
I learned all the numerology from the RZA from his books.
Yeah.
Like the Tao of Wu.
But you're Asian, bro. You should be like on top of this numerology stuff, dude.
Yeah.
I actually love it. I follow this guy, Jimmy. God, I wish I remember his name, but he's Jimmy, I forgot, but he's Jimmy on YouTube, but he does astrology. Like he actually talks about the moon and the houses, and then he does, because he's Chinese, so he does more of the Chinese stuff and astrology. But he has such an awesome energy about him that, and he's like, you guys know. And he's just always. There's another guy. I think he is Cambodian, and he does he also does more numerology and like more Asian feng shui stuff with money and abundance. Listen, I'm going to welcome any kind of energies. I don't care where you're from, where you at. Hit me up. Let me know how to manifest. I'll be there. All right. The prayer. So what is prayer? When we are in the state of prayer, when are we not? To whom or what do we pray? Archetypally, the practice of prayer has been with us since the dawn of time as a remedy for the omnipresent, self-centered thinking that spins us toward illusion. Prayer leads us beyond our ego as we move from our little story to the big one. Some say we are in a state of prayer anytime we are not the center of our own thoughts. Others say prayer is a natural result of gratitude. Perhaps it is simply surrender or service, whatever prayer is for you. This card reminds us of the importance Get quiet, low, humble, and soft. Bow and touch the ground as your heart lifts to the sky. Though it may be uncomfortable, it is time. Nothing else will do. Again, like I said, surrender. I think you just need to. I think, part of us as souls and spirits that come here, we get inundated with trauma and stuff, and we forget that we are a divine being, in this merely playing a human role. So, and I know it's easier said than done, but it's like we forget that we love others better than we love ourselves sometimes. And I think right now they want me to hold a mirror up to you and say, love yourself the way you love your friends, because you treat them better than you treat yourself, kind of thing. And that shouldn't be the order of things. So I'm telling you, once you get those things situated, I guarantee this is going to come. And now I will tell you, oh my God, I lost the page already. Jeez, I suck. Okay, here it is. Sorry. All right. When light, offering to be of service, asking for guidance. And when dark, expecting results, self-aggrandizement. To go deeper, ask to be of service to somebody. All right. And we are going to get to the siren. The siren. I know where I'm going. Why we got so many numerals? I don't know how to read this. Okay. The siren. The siren calls and the world spins. What we thought we wanted pales in comparison to to the sweet allure of her song. We find ourselves lost in a spell of desire, longing, perhaps even lust. Whether the thing calling to us is ultimately good or bad is somewhat irrelevant. It's the journey that matters. And the work of the siren is to take us on a deep psychic descent. Following her song, we go down, down, down to a place where lessons are learned and courage must be rallied to find our way back to dry land. Try as we might resisting, the call may not even be an option. Unless like Odysseus, I said Odysseus. Yeah, that's right. Odysseus, right? No. How do you say his name? Odyssesseus. Why can't I say Odyssey? Odysseus. Thank you.
You're welcome.
God, why? I was like, why am I adding an extra ES? I know. Thank you. We bind our hands to the mast of her ship. It's likely, though, that falling for her call is only way we will come to live more fully on the surface. So, when in light awakens sensuality, absorption, arousal. When dark, wickedness, adultery, wreckage, betrayal, insatiability. But go deeper, J.W. Waters' House, nymph painting. Lana Del Rey's album, also the ultra violence. So honestly, though, I just think it's telling you to get out of that, to find that individual, which means leaving here. Yeah. I think you're going to Illinois, and here's the funny thing is too, is like, you could come back and be like, oh, you helped me decide, but I was like, did I really? You already were discussing it, and I called the name out before you even said. I said Illinois because I was like, it's Texas or Illinois, but you didn't even tell me that. I just kind of knew it. Which is also, I always find that weird when I do that. So I don't know how, but it happens. Okay. So.
And like the whole siren thing, it's like whenever like Taylor Swift comes on, it reminds me of like a person I was in a situationship with.
Oh no.
And I'm like, good grief, would just go away, Taylor Swift. And and she comes on randomly. I'm like, even on a channel that doesn't play her, it's like I'm trying to listen to some coffee shop radio and iHeartRadio.
How long ago was this though? A few years ago or?
Like 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yep. But do you really count situationships?
I mean, they still have an emotional impact on you, sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's
so
pretty deep.
Yeah, especially if you wanted more from the situationship and you didn't get it. I mean, it affects, I think, that person more than maybe the person that was, wanting to just have fun with it or whatever it was. It just sucks because I'm sure there was an agreement. And of course feelings always happen. You know what I mean?
And the power shifted, and then that other person wanted me back, and I was like not having it.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
But now you're somewhat regretful?
I think on both ends. Because like I see pictures of them in their current relationship, and they're not happy. Like you can tell in their photo, like, all right, they're with their family, they're smiling really big, and they're with this one person, they're not happy at smiling at all.
All right, think of something else and cut the deck, and then we can end it after here for you, because I'm sure it's been a hot minute.
thinking of something else. So we dealt with the future, where I'm relocating. Then the love. I kind of want to know what's like my next chapter, like on my journey is, because I know it sounds bizarre, but everything tends to fall into my lap, and then when it does, I feel like a receiver, like in football, like
Yeah, no,
and
that's
I
how you're supposed to be.
run for the goal.
That's
like, the
good
touch.
though.
And I hit it out of the park every single time. So, like, what is that thing? I don't even know. Like, is that something to ask or whatever?
No, that is, but I'm trying to get an impression right now because I feel like there's a guy involved, and I'm trying to weigh out how he's involved. Like, how do you know? You know who I picture, and I don't know this guy personally. He's in a comic from Orlando. What's his name? With long brown hair, and it's kind of parted on the side. He's a really funny comic. He won an award.
Donald Evans.
Yes, I picture him, but I don't know him. But it's some guy that looks like him. Like, maybe that's why they're showing me him, is because it looks similar. Like a guy who's going to look like him is going to approach you with something, like a project of something.
Yeah, because he won Florida's Funniest.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he's pretty funny, like when he goes on his rants and stuff like that. And so
I know he used to have a podcast with Morgan too. Him and Morgan Gallo,
Yeah.
and what's his name? The
Austin
other guy.
Kleeman?
Yes, in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's hilarious. Austin's
I love Austin.
Yeah. So, and I know of Austin more than I knew Donald. His name's
Yep.
Donald. Oh yeah.
Donald Evans.
And
Forgot what the name of the podcast was, but does it even matter?
I don't know. It was like, what about I don't know. It was a
But they were-
question, I think.
Yeah, they were arguing, and she was like the referee or something.
I think they would switch. They would switch sides. Each sometimes two of them would argue, and one would be like the mediator or something.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was funny. Like, I remember watching it, and I thought it was funny what they were doing.
I hate conflicts, so I didn't watch it all. Like, I saw like the clips. I'm like, this is not for me. I don't like when people yell and fight and argue.
Oh, you would never be able to live in my house growing up, dude. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I was literally yelling, fighting, hitting. Oh no, that's funny. All right, well, yeah, that's the impression I get, though. It's some guy with long hair. I know it sounds so generic, but it looks like Donald. I mean, if it turns out to be Donald, you let me know, okay? That will be funny, because it's just the impression I get, though, is the guy is he's kind of tall. Not, I mean, it's like 6 foot maybe. I don't know if that's tall. I don't know anymore. Is
Me
that tall?
neither.
I never.
It's tall to me because I'm like 5'6".
Well, maybe that's what I'm saying. He's just a little taller than you or something. But he has similar features to Donald, is what the impression I'm getting. All right. Let's see though what this tells us. So, you want to know, like, what's the next step exactly? Like, let me see. All right, what's the next step? Spirit for Sareth. Let's see. Look at your hermit coming up, Dad.
Dude, for real. Like, it's like goat, sea goat, and
The only thing I
hermit,
don't-
and I don't even know any of this stuff.
The only thing I potentially don't like about all this is that they're almost all upside down.
Dude, for real.
But the wands are always good, because it just means you've been working on something. But do you have you had any conflict with any two people in your family that are male and female?
Yeah, well,
Like closer to your age though?
close, probably my sister.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because is she kind of like, is she more aggressive than you?
Yep, she's a Gemini, so I.
Oh, that's me, dog.
Yep.
What
and-
dog? No, what? No.
Yeah, for real.
Because I feel like you guys completely look at things differently, and I'm going to tell you this right now. I think there's going to be an argument about how your mom's taken care of or something.
Oh, she passed like 2 years.
So was there an argument about that?
I don't think so. I mean,
But then, okay, so did she pass? Okay, let me read this a little bit better then.
and I think that was her that was like holding me like in my bed. hugging me.
Yeah, that
Yep.
probably was then,
Probably
because
her.
well, the thing is here though, it says there was some kind of issue between. I'm assuming this is you, honestly, and your sister, but I also see like, maybe it's showing me this because maybe you just went inside when your mom passed, or whatever. Hold on, I need clarification on that. Is this Sareth's mom? Yeah, it was your mom. Your dad's still around?
Yep, he's still around.
Were they married when she passed?
Yep.
Because it seems like she worked really hard on keeping the family together or something like that. I mean, is your dad a really hard worker?
Oh yeah, he's always working.
Yeah.
Even when he tried to retire, he's always doing something.
Yeah, because it's almost like she's saying she's concerned that he's not, like he doesn't slow down or something, like he's not taking care of himself. So it is her that's coming through, but she's saying, okay, now I understand. She's probably telling me to tell you to take care of him, not her.
Mm.
This is why I don't like using cards. So sometimes I can pick up this information without it, and this almost always interrupts me. Hold on, let me see if I can ask your guides to step in. All right, to help me with this. Okay, yeah. So has your dad talked to you about any of his health stuff?
Well, I know like he's had some back surgery done. He always goes to the doctor for that. And then, which I don't ask like full detail. And then we had like an emotional heart-to-heart in the car, like when I went to Colorado last during Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so he told me his situation. I'm like, this is pretty heavy. And like, I didn't know how to deal with it, so I just touched his arm, and that was about it.
Okay. So I think your mom is just bringing this up because this is what you need to focus on really mostly is like, just kind of check in on him. So there is more. So you do know more of his stuff than you know about his stuff, basically, like how he's
currently feeling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But I just don't know how to respond to it because I'm like, I've never been in that situation before.
That's okay. I think you can say that.
Yep.
I think that's okay to say. It's like, I'm here for you, Dad, but I don't know how to really react to it, but I want you to know I'm here. That's all I can do right now because that's all I know how to do right now. I think she just says that that would be beneficial for him.
And plus, we're both Earth signs, so he's a Taurus, I'm a Capricorn.
Oh, yeah. My daughter's a Taurus, yeah.
Yep. So I'm like, and we haven't really communicated a lot, so it's like, it's kind of like, because every single conversation we had, like, they would always tag team on me, and it would turn into like a very argumentative thing.
Yeah.
And how I mentioned, I don't like arguments, I don't like fighting, I don't want to hear like voices raised, so that's why I'm like, I don't want to deal with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he'd do that now. I don't know if your dad would do that now. I don't know. I think your mom's just concerned about his health or whatever. Your sister, does she live in Colorado?
Yep.
Does she not check in on him often enough?
I think she does, but she lets my nephews talk to my dad more than
I was
her,
gonna
'cause,
say, yeah.
she's been a rebel, and like I think my dad's like tired of it, and I'm like, I guess so. She's more of a wild.
Okay, so the reason why
spirit
she minimizes her interaction because of that. Okay, because I was like, I feel like that is part of it too. Is like your mom knows that you're more likely to go check on your dad than she is. Okay, do you want another clarifying thing for this?
Sure, I guess so.
Okay, what would you like clarified?
I don't know, how's this trip gonna be like? Because he's gonna travel soon overseas.
Okay.
Yep.
Ay. All right. Is he? Who's he? He's gonna go visit like his brother or something.
Probably family in Cambodia.
I have a feeling something's gonna happen while he's there. Not to him. I think a family member. I'm telling you, there's something in that area that you guys go to is like high energy or something. Every time I go to like look into it, it's like I envision Cambodia like I can almost like feel its energy. I can't explain it, but it feels like it's high over there.
I'd say
I've never been there, so I don't know how it feels, but it feels elevated, if that makes sense. Like there's things going on.
the most energy I ever felt was at my grandma's house with the whole, my grandpa taking me on a trip. Like, that's, like, the most energy I ever felt. Because, like, if I go to my dad's side, not so much. Because I don't really want to be in my dad's side. Like, I love my aunts, my uncles there. But, like, I prefer my mom's side.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's like I'm just saying like the whole place though, the country itself. Like I'm saying the land.
Oh, there's Angkor Wat, which is like the largest religious temple.
Oh, I forgot about Angkor Wat. Yeah, yeah. I know of Angkor. Of course I know of it. That's beautiful. It's crazy. I mean, it's huge.
It is.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, now I got more chills because I didn't think about it. Because every time I go to like look into the energy, every time like I envision your dad like going on a plane, like I can see all that. But like when he lands, it feels like as if you were put into like something so vivid and bright, vibrant of color. Like everything seems amplified. That's what I guess. So to me, that resonates that the energy is very high in Cambodia. Like it's elevated somehow. Man, I wish I could go one day. That'd be cool to feel it
It's
myself.
so neat.
Yeah.
Like when you go through the gates and stuff, you'll see like it feels like you're walking into a painting, like you're in the Aha video on
Yeah.
Take On Me. It's just so bizarre, wild. But it's like, and you can climb up the cardinal points, I guess you call them.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can just like, but you have to use your all force to get up there because the steps are really small.
See, so that makes even more sense. What you're telling me, like, so when you walk off, it looks like a thing. All right. I'm reading these things. This is all good material wealth. I knew that, but the transition, all things shall pass. So let's see. Complete change, have faith, go with the flow, sudden change. You have inner fortitude to deal with the new situation. Okay, but see, this is reverse, which is to me a good thing. So let me make sure though, because I want to make sure I'm reading this correctly, because I know the transition card looks scary, but it's not. Usually it's a good thing. Just like tower moments are kind of good, even though the tower looks scary, or even death card. It doesn't always mean death, where people sometimes get worried. It just means that something dies for you to move forward. So that could be a job or whatever else.
A comedy.
Yeah, comedy. It's true. I forgot that you said that too. All right. Movement, news, rapid advancement. Okay. Reversed, apprehension, domestic quarreling, insecurity, jealousy. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I think something's going to happen to your dad, but I think it will be fine. I think he's going to get in an argument with a family member or something. Like, it's going to be fine. And you're going to hear about it.
An argument with
Oh, okay.
member,
Well, then,
yeah.
yeah. So then you're fine. You're fine. Do you have anything else before I close this?
Sure, it was something in my head, but I totally forgot it now because just zoomed out. But I don't know. I don't think I have anything else. I mean, we've already talked about me enough and my sister enough and my parents enough, I guess. But I don't know. What else should I talk about?
Or ask?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean,
Because I'm drawing a blank, so I don't really...
So am I too, though. Actually, I'm like trying to think of what could we answer for you. I don't know. Maybe that's all you need to know. I do think, I will tell you this. I do think you need to look into a meditation that specifically talks about pulling your energy back, pulling your power back. I think that will make you feel a lot better. I think you'd be shocked how if you do that every day.
I should meditate more often.
Yeah, because I think you would even feel like a little clearer in your decision making, in your process of how because you're leaning towards something right now, but it's not defined. So you can change it at any time, obviously, duh. But I think if you meditate on it, you'll get clarity, and that's what they're telling me. So also, like, just do the and I'm not the greatest either. I mean, I meditate every day, but I forget to call my power back every day. We should be doing that like before we go to bed or,
How long do you meditate for?
It doesn't really matter. It's what you want to do. I mean, personally, I like to meditate at least for 30 minutes, but that's because my brain takes a moment to like settle down and, and even then it's a struggle for me. So I use like guided meditations because at least there's something running and not my thoughts. You know what I mean? So I'll use like guided meditations. If I can do an hour, I'll do an hour, But also too, if you fall asleep, don't feel bad either, because your brain is just subconscious is still taking it in, even if you're not conscious. The goal is to be conscious while you're meditating, and then you can transcend certain things. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it though. So did you like it? I don't know. I feel like
It's pretty fun. I enjoyed it.
well-
You got to me open up, so that was nice. I'm usually a closed person, and I
Yeah.
don't really talk much to people.
I mean, you've talked to me a bunch, but I know that there's not everybody that's sits down and like actually asks you questions about stuff, and it's like, hey man, let me get to know you, dude. Like,
Yep.
I'm just always that weirdo with everybody, where I'm like, really, where from? Blah, 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 blah. Do you want to tell the people where to find you and like all the stuff?
Oh yeah. Across the board, it's Sareth _Ney NEY. My YouTube, my X, and my Instagram, and aqdpi.com, which is acutipie.com, so you can't forget it. So that's where all my info is at. So how about yourself?
Do you have anything coming up?
I am actually doing an opening set at Bedlam.
Okay.
Next Sunday. I'm not gonna do one today because it's like 58 miles away, and I'm like, I just don't want to travel that far.
After driving this, yeah.
Yep.
I get it. I totally get it. All right. Well,
How
I
about
think,
you?
yeah.
Where can they find you, and where this your next show?
Oh, well, thank you,
Thank
Sareth.
you.
I
You're welcome.
appreciate it. You can find me at Red Hair Anomaly. You can also follow us at Los Rotos Podcast on IG. You can follow Upside Down Creative Media on YouTube and click that button to subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notifications with our live streams. And I want to say thank you to Spirit for coming here and helping us with Sareth's reading. Thank you to Source. Thank you to Marshall for being the best producer in the world. And thank you so much, Sareth, for coming. I really do appreciate it. And check us out. We're gonna next weekend. We will have the wonderful guest Will Blaylock on.
Ooh,
So that should be yes, that should be super exciting. He doesn't think he will be, but I will make him one. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Adios. Peace and love.